Welcome everybody to Booyah Bay Cable Car Coast. We are at Grand Finals. We're ready to crown a winner here for this local and who gets to advance to the LAN Championship Showdown happening in late April. My name is Keon. Two people now join me. Nato's still here, but we got Rice joining us as well. Rice, how are you feeling after the rest of the day?
You know, we've been here since 6 a.m. We've been here for 12 hours actually. But you know, pretty good event so far. We are relatively smooth getting things done. We're actually we're sort of on time, you know.
Just only sort of.
I mean,
just a little bit.
Giant new room, amazing AV setup, Rice. I think you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible event so far from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a lot of improvements from the last one, and it's really exciting. Maps are wrong. Oh,
don't worry. They called you out on that one. They also called you out on the fact that we're going to Hammerhead Bridge Zones, by the way. That's the other map of choice.
Hammerhead Bridge Zones
Yeah.
is a weird one, right, Kyo?
I think it's 100% correct.
Nah.
Are they trolling you today? The answer is yes, they are indeed trolling you today. By the way, let's take a look at the teams here. Shark is going to be on the gold side. Blue side is going to be Dave's Hotties. Anything that strikes out to you, either of you guys?
I think the big thing that comes out to me here is the fact that Shark has been running this Luna Blaster comp basically the entire day. They used it against us earlier, and they've sort of been using it for a lot of their matches, and it's gone really, really well because it allows them to get that close-range pressure. However, it's really working out for them now, as already we see a wipeout on the side of Dave's Hotties. What do you think about this, Rice?
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting also to see. It's kind of like a triple shooter comp coming out of Dave's Hottie, where like, you know, Tetra's a little bit of that shooter type player, but we can see it's kind of snowballing for the side of Dave's Hotties, but the missiles coming out for Sharks gonna let them kind of hold a bit more of this front line while Dave's Hotties still trying to retake.
Yeah, Dave's Hotties just needs to be able to run back right now. That's Brent, and Shark is just trying to play full aggression. It is Hammerhead Zones after all. It's just pure lockout as Goose does take out Go Child. The Goose has indeed gone loose, and right now it's 20 points for me. They're still in firm place for the lockout here. All it's gonna come down to is see if Goose can take eliminate the last members there. Takes out Seal. They're gonna go down. It's mutually assured destruction. Who gives a darn? That's a victory there for Shark, and Shark takes home game one to kick off Grand Finals.
Yeah, you know, Shark, they've been here before. They've been here. we can see Luna here popping off, but they've been here before. They've been here 2 other times. Grand Finals starting on Zones Hammerhead. It's tradition at Booyah Bay that we gotta start on the bridge.
You know, we got to start on the bridge, and this team, you know, what were they last time? I think they were Address the Elephant in the Room. And the time before that, I don't remember what they were. But this team is like the team to beat at Booyah Bay, right? And they are 4 players who just know how to work together to get the game going really quickly. They like to play fast. They like to get a lot of picks. And we saw that come out in full force in that first game against Dave's Hotties. So, Keon, do you think they're going to make a counter pick that isn't zones? Because we've seen a million zones counter picks so far. Like, are we finally going to see Rainmaker Sanity like we did last, or are we just going to be full send zones?
If it's anything that I've learned from Winners Finals is it might be zones again, because that's what Dave's Hotties only knew at the time. Maybe sensibility shows here. If they go back to zones, we're gonna have a lot of questions. They go to make
zones. Okay, Rice, did you have to give them like special permission to like run a full zones or something like that?
Okay.
So, or is it legal?
So for context on Winners Finals, both teams, and this is a personal rule to me, is that if both teams agree, both teams can run zones only. But if you do that, all maps are available.
Okay, I see. So
that's why we
zones next. Clearly, like that's what
Hammerhead was on the map list, by the way.
Yes, it was.
So the funny thing about that one, by the way, was I've casted a lot of Sendu QCs of now. I was like, okay, that's just normal. It was like it immediately clicked on my brain. It's like, wait, I've seen this map before. Of course, it's gonna be lockout heavy as well. And there's a shot of the crowd. The crowd's pretty much just watching the last set of this entire tournament unfold. UCSD, by the way, represents up front. All right, let's load into zones. And you said they could. I'm sure they may have gentlemen to agree into zones for all we know. Let's take a look at the weapons here. Again, game 1 over the Sharks here. Two more games, and they'll punch or take the LCS. Anything that strikes out to you as the crowd stays ready to go?
You know, Blaster versus Blaster. Blaster living up to their namesake, and they've also picked Luna Blaster to counter Goose. on the side of Shark here. So really curious to see if that close, very chip damagey aggression will help carry.
Yeah, definitely. And we can kind of see on the side of Dave's Hot, they have a lot of paint to work with, taking down Goose early here. Blaster seeing another pick, unable to grab that, but they do get that first zone cap.
The first zone cap belonging to Dave's Hotties, and that's a great start for them right now after how things kind of went in previous go-arounds. And that's two, by the way, 2 members down, but the cooler was picked up. But that is a messy fight, and it leaves the 3 members dropping on Dave's Hotties, and nobody has really taken firm control of the zone. In fact, that zone has stayed neutral for as long as it did, and that's still advantage Dave's Hotties. Zeal's just trying to run away with their life right now, and they have successfully done so. 71 points remaining and still going down. NATO, a great start for Dave's Hotties, but they got to keep the momentum going if they want to get more points.
Yeah, Shark finally flipping the zone there, getting some much-needed penalty, but Goose is pulling out the hammer. They're not able to get a pick there, but still putting an insane amount of pressure. Zeal does not care. Zeal is going to throw and get multiple picks. Unfortunately for them, Goatchild does have to back up there, as yet again, another shot from Swagger the Goat, just killing them with the rain, and again, Swagger Mac and Cheese does not care. Advantage Shark. What are they going to do here, Rice?
Yeah, we can see here Shark having such a strong hold here, and, you know, they did go 2 down to Zeal, but Zeal, we didn't realize that they had Cooler on that death. That's why they could retake so fast. Numbers going down, 2 down on the side of Dave's Hottie. It's gonna be a bit of a dire situation here. Hammer thrown from Zeal, but Keon, what are we gonna see here?
Right now, what you're gonna see is Shark just trying to make sure that Dave's Hottie does not get the chance to attack. There's not really that many specials available from Dave's Hotties. This is their only chance. Zeal is only down to 1 HP. All that Shark needs to do is clean out everybody else, and they're gonna be able to do successfully that. And it's gonna be game 2 over the Shark. They're up 2-0. One more map, they win Booyah Bay. That's Luna showing off for the camera. One more map. They not just win Booyah Bay, they punched their ticket to LCS. They got one more map to do it.
You know, they do. And honestly, the start was really good from Dave's Hotties. They had the zone for way longer than I thought they would, right?
Right.
Like they just Shark could not flip the zone for the longest time, but you called this out earlier. Zeal gets the pick with the hammer, but, you know, Shark doesn't care. Because they're cooler, they're going to jump back in, and they have enough faith in their own ability to win 1v1s that they don't have to, like, sit back and spawn painting for specials or anything like that. They're just going to jump in and win their fights, and we saw exactly that happen. Are they going to, like, what do they do here, Rice? Like, do they change? Do they go away from zones like that was on the map list? Like, is it going to happen? Or are they just going to be, you know, full send it at this point? We're going to stick with zones if we win or lose.
You know, I think it's interesting because Zeal Dave's Hot, Zeal specifically, had such a strong play. You know, they took 2 down with Hammer, but I think the unfortunate thing was that the deaths they had were cooler deaths, while on their side, their deaths, those were not cooler.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, I think what happened was just it took them a lot more time and effort to retake and try to get that hold when, you know, in advantage, it's really easy. Even if you do go down, what's cooler, you jump back in, you keep that pressure up, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, Keon, do you think that Dave's Hotties is going to be able to figure out how to win in terms of 1v1s? Like, win the fights that they didn't win previously? Or do you think they're just going to be like, we need to play more at range, we need to slow the game down, we need to wait out the cooler and win that way instead?
I think the issue is you're playing against a very well-known established set of players in what you see with 5th Gen and Lunazuka as well, and obviously the surrounding cast of Goose and Swagger. They're gonna, if you go the more experience you get, you know they're gonna play aggro. So I think you gotta be able to find some of the 1v1 picks, especially there too. I look at Kanan again. Kanan, a fantastic player as well for Dave's Hotties. Wanting to see how this plays out, and again they go over to Barnacle and Dime zones. They counterpicked Barnacle and Dime zones in Winners Finals. It ended in a 100-0 against Shark. So, if again the definition of insanity continues to reign supreme, basically in this tournament, as we get an awesome zoom in of the poor big man has kind of fallen a little bit, but the plushies has just been there chilling.
You know, front row seat for our plushies in what might be the last game. One more as we roll out here, Rice. What are we seeing from these two amazing teams, Shark and Dave's Hotties? What are their goals?
Yeah, we can see here, you know, Shark sticking with their guns, knowing what they're doing, and we see Dave's Hottie actually switching to that 52 gal.
Yeah, Kanon, they've been playing really well with that so far. And Blaster, unfortunately, we lose them right at the very beginning, which is a little sad as we're looking at the jellies on the far side. A slug for mid here. Zeal, unfortunately, does go down. This is probably going to flip the zone in favor of Shark if Kanon can't find it, and unfortunately, they cannot.
What exactly even happened at the introduction where they just fell out of they just fell into the water? That's kind of a rough start already for Dave's Hotties, just going one down in the first couple of seconds, and that's kind of where things could. That's where Shark can easily take advantage. In fact, they did lose the blaster on top of it, but at what cost? Not really a whole lot right now. Zeal needs to find anything with his ult Sam. The toss has to be there. They do connect on the frozen bro. Now they neutralize control. They eliminate 2. This is a good opportunity now for Dave's Hotties to take advantage. NATO delayed 3. Maybe a good time to strike.
They need to get Luna out of here, and preferably they need to get Luna down before they can charge another cooler. We talked about this earlier, but her coolers have been able to sustain the pushes from Shark. And right now, if you're Dave's Hotties, you like that 2 down. You need to win this fight here against Swagger, and if you're Kanon, you do. Bryce, what do Dave Hotties need to do here to keep this lockout going?
Yeah, Dave's Hottie, they just popped this cooler too. They can play very aggressively. We can see, you know, I think the thing with Shark is they're a very aggressive team. So if you're able to take that aggression out from them with Goose, unfortunately, Blaster going down with that Luna Blaster, missiles coming out from 5th gen, it's going to be a bloodbath to try to take that retake, Keon.
Yeah, with the 2 members down, this is not going to really favor them that well. This is going to be a little bit of a small boot-up time. They had to make the jump over to the other side of the map, and it's now 10 points remaining. It's still going down. Any few ticks is going to be huge. 1-for-1 trade. They may not have enough payment. They lose 2, but the control flips at the critical time, and that's going to have to buy them a little bit more time. Blaster does take out Luna by the end of it, but now they got to chew through these penalty points here. NATO, I don't know how Shark managed to get that retake. They buy themselves some time. Maybe a little bit of a lifeline for that 3-0, but right now, NATO, this is Dave's Hottie's biggest chance to take a map in.
Dave's Hotties is playing like a completely different team here. They have been able to get what they were not able to do in the previous 2 games, which is get Shark down multiple at a time when they either don't have cooler or the cooler is on a slow rotation. However, that doesn't mean that they can sustain it, and they have to keep these picks going up. Zeal is coming up here with the hammer, does not find any value there. Bryce, I think we're going to have just another scrap in mid.
Yeah, we can kind of just see it. It's a constant flip back and forth in mid. There's no one really holding a firm control here. That is 1 down on the side of the Dave Hottie, 2 down on Dave's Hottie. It's kind of a back and forth between, but Shark having control. They're going to have a lot of sustaining power here, Keon.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of sustaining power here, but now, right, for all the reasons here, Dave's Hottie is still able to retain as much as they can. They're down to the 55 points remaining in their penalty points, but they are going to keep training these zone caps here, 2 for 2 on both ends, and the Sprinkler might be the one that saves Dave's Hottie. How would that MVP Sprinkler, oh my goodness, keeps it alive for just a little bit longer. That is actually additional damage on top of it. That is nuts there, NATO. That Sprinkler might be huge.
You know, Dave's Hotties might still have a huge penalty to future, but you just saw that they were able to take down Luna, which means that that cooler is going to be extremely delayed for the side of Shark. It might not matter as much because they're already 2 down, but it does mean that they will not be coming back quite as fast here as Swagger's able to find 1 pick. Swagger goes down to Kanon on the other side. What are we going to see to transfer this over? Bryce?
Yeah, we can see here, Kanon's trying to play that Shark angle, but the Luna Blaster from Goose kind of sharks them out, and this is going to be a hold for Shark. There's no penalty points, so that means real points are counting down, and those missiles are going to really stop Dave's Hottie's momentum here, Keon.
Yeah, those missiles being dished out there, forcing Dave's Hotties backwards. Zeal needs to land this ult, they're not able to find anybody else. Now they're pushed back. They're out of the penalty points. This is their only chance to make this one count. They lose the Blaster. That's 1 member down, and this is going to be a lot of points there. That's going to be 2 members that have dropped. Momentum has shifted in the favor of Shark, and that is, I think, a delayed wipe, and that should be potentially the game here. I think it will 100% be the game, as Shark runs through everything else. The Zuka gets a double, and that's going to be that. Shark are your winners for Booyah Bay Cable Car Coast, and they have punched their ticket to the LAN Championship Showdown in April. What a fantastic performance from Shark.
You know, it is so easy to lose your mind when you are in a multiple down situation. And Shark, they were being forced out so much in that game as we see the joy coming out from the side of Shark as they just put a hammer down on this one. And, you know, it was one team holding. Dave's Hotties had an excellent hold there. But what Shark was able to figure out is if we push them back far enough on our hold, as 5th gens, their missiles came out and they had all of Dave's Hotties sort of backed up in their court there. They can't do anything from that location, right, Rice? Like, I mean, it's just the hold that they had was so incredibly powerful that they were able to convert it.
I also think it's, you know, this is a storyline. I just have to add this as like a storyline. The first LAN championship showdown, Fog City, we had a rendition of Shark in terms of it was Goose, it was Luna, and it was 5th Gen. They didn't have Swagger on the roster. It was just the 3 of them. They had a sub, I believe, I can't remember who their sub was right now, but they did lose kind of early on, and I know after that they were kind of hungry to get a win, and then they won 2 Booyah Bays. You know, LCS comes back again. They want to represent Booyah Bay.
And I think that they just put a hammer down on it there. They said, we are the one who can sweep in finals, and then we can sweep it again. What a showing from Shark. And honestly, good play from Dave's Hotties, too. Yeah. They knew if we're going to play zones, we're going to play on a map where we can get the lockout. And they were very close to converting it into a loss for their opponents, right?
And I would have loved to see if Dave's Hottie could the same, but I think the fact that Shark even got the zones cap with on a 2 down, they lost 2 and they still got the cap, and they gave them an extra lifeline was crazy enough to win this from Shark, and that's how you build that momentum to that 3-0 sweep there in Grand Finals, which basically, you know, they're your winners from Booyah Bay. We had an interview with Luna earlier. I think there's no interview. We're gonna hand them the mic here in just a few moments. I just want to say right now, I know they were excited to take on the winners of other competitors. We're gonna have them take the floor here the rest of the way. My name is Keon. We're gonna send it over to these guys. They're gonna get the mic.
You guys are all going up. What?
Go talk. You guys talk about. You guys talk. Just it's your first block. Okay. It's your first block again. Yeah.
Woo! Those guys suck.
Hey, you can say that.
It's just another day at work, baby. That's all I can say.
Start the stream here.
Stream, hello.
What's up? It's dark out now.
Yeah.
You can see it.
Bro, we were starving halfway through.
She wants me to go home.
I'd have 4 slices of pizza today. That's all being. I bought a $20 sandwich. I ate half of it. I had a Monster for breakfast, this Red Bull for lunch, another Monster on stage. I ate this shit on stage. I'm trying to get a Red Bull sponsorship.
I'm trying to make it out.
I want to go home. I'm hungry.
You want to go home?
We're going to Chili's. We're getting triple dippers after this.
Yeah.
But that's our 3-peat. Triple dipper for the 3-peat.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Hopefully we'll be out here commentating again, playing again for the next one. But y'all should all come out here to the next one because, like, this venue is awesome. We had a good fucking time. We had a good freaking time. I know this event's awesome. Shout out Rice. Shout out the production. Dio did a great job.
Dio was working production the entire time.
Yeah,
so.
literally the entire time up here.
Let's go.
He was meowing on the walkie-talkie to people. He was losing his mind.
This is true. I can vouch.
But this was a great event. It was honestly like the best Booyah Bay yet with this venue too. Like there's a whole bar down there. They're serving alcohol. They're serving sandwiches and
stuff.
If you're
old enough.
If you're old enough.
Not me.
There's a Red Bull cooler up here. I don't know if we're allowed to take it, but I took this. I stole this Red Bull. I'm trying to get a sponsorship, my own case at home. But okay.
Huh?
You want my headset?
Are we taking them off?
Someone give me one headset.
Oh.
Yeah. In the frame.
In a frame.
Kind of.
You two are just gonna be speaking.
Nothing's like partly off.
All right, so when we give you the trophies, we do need you guys to accept the nomination for the LCS finals. So I need a verbal confirmation from everyone that you accept your nomination. So I'll start with 5th Gen. Oh.
Oh.
However you want to do it.
You guys can figure it out.
We can figure it out.
I accept the nomination to be NorCal.
I accept a nomination for NorCal.
If I have to.
Oh my god. I accept the nomination for NorCal, and I'm gonna bag that kid.
That kid has it coming.
And that is it.
Wow.
Woo! Yeah, Booyah Bay. 1034, Booyah Bay, 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 bay. Yeah.